Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Intentional Productivity Tips. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I want to thank you for joining us today. Specifically, I want to thank you for taking time to be intentional with your productivity. As you all know, it's something that is very near and dear to my heart, and I always appreciate it when people join along the journey. Because if we think about it, taking control of our productivity helps us work smarter, not harder, so we can enjoy the lives we've worked so hard to create. I am so glad to be joining you today. You are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel, where you can please like, subscribe, and even be notified when new episodes drop. I'll be honest, I never realized that I would be a person that appreciated the likes, but I do. So thank those of you who have been liking along the way. I am so excited today because we are continuing on a productivity journey that the topic we're looking at, we're in the middle of a productivity series called Productivity and You. So let's get into talking a little bit about productivity and you and what is it that I might mean. Again, I want to thank you for joining us on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. Check out our channel, check out our other shows that are available, and look at our website when you get a chance. There's some amazing learning opportunities, and Dr. Jacqueline has a great retreat coming up in September, so check that out. Today, we are on part 2 of our series, Productivity and You, Organizing Your Memories. So today we are going to talk about productivity and you organizing your memories. I will be honest, there have been times when I bring this up to my clients and they're like, that is not what I am talking about when I'm talking about productivity, Megan. And I say, I get that. I totally understand that. But it is what I'm talking about with productivity. And so it's a great conversation that I like to have with my clients. How do you organize your memories? I'm not just talking about picture memories, although if you know me, you know I am a sucker for pictures and I do love a photo album. I'm talking about how do we organize and how do we remember not just our memories, but our experiences and our skills as well. When we think about it in this day and age, we have more skills than ever before. We do more things than ever before, and we have the capacity to forget more than we've ever forgotten before. So it's important to put some guardrails and find how we can organize our memories. So today we're going to talk about 4 things. We are going to do a quick tip kickoff where we are actually going to do a skills and wins review. And I'm looking forward to that. And there are cheers and toasts involved. So stick around for that. We're going to talk about our skills and wins review. We are going to talk about why intentional memory organization matters. We're going to talk about intentional memory organization your way. And then I've got an action plan for you to go with the flow, which is a theme for this series when we're looking at productivity and you. Last week, or in episode 1 of this series, we talked about your learning your way. And one of the things that I said in last week's episode is that I was going to be taking a cake decorating class and doing something I've never done before. Any of you that have watched or any of you that are thinking of learning your way, have any of you done anything lately, learned something new? So here is my cake that I was able to decorate. I am very proud of it. It looks way better than I thought. Also, it looks better in a picture than it did up close, but we're not even going to pretend. We're going to ignore that part. But last week, so my Learning My Way, I took a cake decorating class. I was in Central California, so I was in the Kingsburg area. If you're ever in the Central Valley of California, Vintage Kitchen Catering has, first of all, amazing food. Their gluten-free cinnamon rolls are the best in the world. Not gonna lie. But Felicia has some amazing cake decorating and different classes she provides. So I highly recommend it. So when we're talking about whether it's your learning your way or organizing your memories, one of the things I want you to remember, one of the reasons I shared my experience, is to remember it's about being fun. When we think about our lives, we need to have more fun. Would you agree with that? We need to be more positive and supportive environments. My cake decorating class last week was the most amazing supportive environment. So it's important that we do those things, right? So we want to talk about our learning. We want to talk about organizing our memories and why that's so important. Why organizing your skills and memories matters. Today, we're going to talk about two very specific things, but in the big picture, I want you to start thinking, how am I organizing my skills and memories? Why is it important to me and how am I tracking them? Organizing your memories and experiences isn't just about looking back. Although it is fun to look back, it isn't just about that. It's a powerful reminder of who you are, what you've learned, and the amazing person you've become. Taking time to be intentional and say, how am I going to organize my skills? How am I going to track my skills? Now, we all know probably if you're in the professional world, you have a resume, and that is powerful, important, or maybe a LinkedIn profile or some kind of a profile. And those are important. But do they give us all of the picture and memories of ourselves? Are there sometimes more things we want to remember than our resume? When we think about what we want to organize when it comes to our memories, it is, as I'm saying, it's our skills and our memories, right? So it's, what did we grow through? What are the challenges that we've learned in life? What have we grown through? Has there ever been a situation where you're like, I am not going to survive this? I know I have, but I did because I'm here and I learned something. And so that's how we want to decide how to move forward, right? It's about organizing your experiences. It's about organizing things like trainings you've been through, speakers that you've had. All of those things are skills that we've learned. We want to think about what are all of those things, the experiences, the skills, the memories that have made us who we are and are going to launch us forward, because we want to start to think about how we're going to organize and remember them. I have a quick tip challenge for you right now. I would like for you, and I'm going to ask you a very specific memory. What I would like for you to do is we're going to walk through right now, organizing our skills and memories specific to the technology systems, tools, and apps that you've learned, right? So it's time for a skills review, and I have a challenge for you. Whether you do it right now or at another point in your day, I encourage you to take at least 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. You might grow and expand from there, but at least start with 5 minutes and make a list of all the technical systems, tools, and apps that you've learned. We know in this day and age, it's like, oh yeah, Asana, Trello, right? My Google Calendar, right? My Memory Maker, my photo album, Canva. Absolutely. Those are all things we want to encourage. We want to remember. I encourage you with either a piece of paper and pen, your notes app, or even Excel spreadsheet. I encourage you to set aside at least 5 minutes and just start a brain dump. What are all of the systems, tools, and apps that you have learned and used in your professional career? I will be honest for you, when I started, I was like, oh, Google and Microsoft. And then all of a sudden I remembered, wait, I've been in the work world since last century. And in last century, we used other tools that I learned. And so what I started to remember when I went down memory lane is, oh, wait, word perfect. Memory lane for anyone? So it's important to not just think about the time limit of 5 minutes, but also invest some time and say, what are all the tools, systems, and apps you've learned? Why? because then you get to celebrate how much you've learned. So I made my list into a word cloud. Well, champagne glasses, of course, because bubbles, and that's one of the things that I love. But what I did is when I came up with my list, it was over 140 apps, tech resources. It was close to 150 different tools that I have learned. Whoa. I said, when I looked at that list, cheers to me. What a badass, right? It's important when we look at it, one, we want to go back and say, look at all that we've learned. What does that tell us about ourselves? We've figured a lot of stuff out. What does that tell us about the future? We will be able to figure anything out that we need because we have. So being able to identify and think a little bit intentionally, right? A quick tip. How do we organize our skills and remember all the things we've learned? Again, this was very specific to our technical tools, resources, and apps. We could also expand this to what are the trainings you've been to, maybe books, what are the seminars you've learned, what are the methodologies? It's important for us to be intentional to remember all of the stuff we've learned because it will make you feel really good. I'm not going to lie. When I saw my list, again, I was at almost 150 things I've learned. I was pretty proud of myself. Other fun thing, it was fun to reach out to former coworkers at different places. I reached out to one of my friends. I was like, Matt, what was the name of that program we used when we were at that one place that was really freaky? And it was a fun walk down memory lane. So it's important to remember things. Why intentional memory organization matters. We just walked through an activity where I encourage you to start with 5 minutes and spend time saying, what are all of the apps, systems, resources, and tools that I've learned? If we're able to make a list of that, we're able to start to remember and we're able to start to track, right? When we think about that, we can then ask ourselves, why intentional memory organization matters? Being intentional with how you track memories and lessons, it gives you 3 things that are important. It gives you a lot of things, but let's focus on 3. 1, it gives you perspective. You can see how far you've come. Actually what I would encourage you now, and I didn't think of this before on the spot, write down how many apps and things you think you've learned, and then look at the number, because I bet you'll be surprised. Again, when we organize our memories and our experiences, we're able to look at a perspective and we're able to see how far we've come and all of the things we've experienced. So first up, why it matters, our perspective. Second, patterns. We start to notice what energizes and what drains you, right? We get to see the patterns. And I will be honest, I was able to, when I looked at my list and organized it, I've obviously learned, well, because I help people with productivity and project management and priorities, the amount of tools when it comes to project management and time management, I have learned a lot of tools there, right? And the good thing is, for example, let's talk about time tracking tools, right? So there's Toggle, there's Timely, there is Harvest. And so for me, one of the things when we're talking about patterns is we start to see when we learn things in the same categories, there begins to be things that are patterns. So we start to notice and we can learn things quicker. We can also start to identify, oh, I can pick up that app quick. For me, I can pick up an app like a Trello or Asana pretty quickly because I've used them. If it comes to changing graphic arts, that's going to take me a little bit longer because I've been loving Canva for several years. We're able to see patterns about ourselves. What are your patterns? So why intentional memory organization matters? Again, perspective, patterns, and 3, power. We make better choices when we can look at what's worked. When we're looking at apps that we might want to use in the future, we can say, I didn't like that. One thing I know for an app for myself, I need color coding. As I've mentioned, my apps party for my eyes. If there's not a lot of color options and I can't add them, it's not going to work for me. So when we are beginning to look at our intentional memories and organizing them, we're able to learn about ourselves, and that is powerful. The more we'll know about ourselves, the more productive we can be. Also, it's important to be honest and say, we think we'll remember everything, but let's be honest, life moves pretty fast. I used to think, oh, I remember all of that. Now I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to remember it. I need to track it. So we have to be honest with ourselves with that. And if we expect ourselves to remember everything, we're putting extra pressure on ourselves. Don't do that. We have tools to help ourselves. So we know why intentional memory organization matters. Let's look about how we can intentionally organize memories your way. It's important for yourself to ask yourself, what do you want to remember and track? Is it family experiences? Is it professional experiences? Is it travels? Is it favorite wines? Is it hotels that you may or may not like? Ask yourself, when coming up and thinking that you want to track your memories, it's important to say, what do you want to remember and track? Then it's important to ask ourselves, how do you want to track it? And this gets a little more complex in 2025 than it used to be, because now we have paper options, we have electronic options. Do we want it on our phone? Do we want a paper? Is it a calendar? Is it an app? We have a lot of options. So beginning to look at how we want to track it is going to help us to identify where. How do we want to track it? I think I will spend, for example, I've had clients say, what do you mean? That's a memory, I track it. And I understand that. When I'm saying how, I want us to think about, is it maybe a note that I want to verbalize? Do I just want to talk a note and then I track it that way? Do I want to use my calendar and just type a few things? Do I want to have a full-blown notebook that I use? What is it that I want to use? How am I going to track it? Am I going to write it down once a week? Am I going to say every Saturday morning, I'm going to spend time brainstorming? Again, we want to get into the nitty-gritty for ourselves because, again, if we want to track our memories, we want to have a clear picture so we're able to do it moving forward and enjoy the experience. It's also important to begin with an end in mind. We want to think about, how do we want to use it later? For example, maybe we want to track photographs. Maybe we want to use everything in our photographs, which is fine. We want to ask ourselves, how are we going to use that later? Well, I'm going to go back and look through my photos, or I'm going to create photo albums online, right? Are you going to print them out? You want to ask how you're going to use it later. For me, this has been something I've had a struggle with, and I think I've mentioned it before. I loved, again, I'm aging myself, started in the work world last century, and last century we had paper day planners. We had paper Franklins or priority managers or whatever they were. I loved that because it was one place I could track it. When we moved into the electronic world and I now had paper and electronic, it took me a while to figure out the best way that it worked for me. Realizing how I want to use information later put into perspective for me that there's 3 places that I track my memories, right? Put into perspective. Again, what do you want to remember and track? For me, it was my calendar and my pictures, and also a journal. How do I want to track it? I want to track it by the pictures that I take in updating my calendar, as well as time for journaling. And then how do I want to use it later? So I can look back at it and have fun. Ask these questions for yourselves. Make walking down memory lane a positive experience, because we should be proud for what we've done, where we are, and where we're going. Organizing our memories, while some people might think it's not productive, do you start to see how it connects with our productivity? Are you starting to see that we're able to connect what we've learned to our future and how we want to grow? That's what we want to talk about, and that's productivity in you. Intentional memory organization your way. It is about making it fun for you. And here's what I'm going to say. Buy that journal, grab the stickers, choose what you want to track, whether it's using an app with color codes or simply making a creative experience. Create a process that excites you so you'll want to come back to it again and again and again. And that's one of the things that I have mentioned. So I use a journal. I have a journal that I update. And what I do is I track all my time and I have fun. Again, you can see where I like to sit outside. But again, I'm telling you what I like to do, not just to be selfish about me, not just because I like to talk about me, but I've found specifically when it comes to this, giving examples helps people connect. And that's what I'm trying to do to you. Make tracking your memories fun for you, and you'll want to do it. And isn't that important? Let's talk a little bit about organizing memories, right? Organizing memories can feel so big. There's so much to it. Where do I begin, Megan? Oh, if I don't know where to begin, I'm just not going to start. I respect and I get that. So that's why I want to talk a little bit about how we can go with the flow. When it comes to organizing the memories, I have 4 steps for you to go with the flow. First, fun first, right? Let's start with the F, flow, fun first. Make it enjoyable. Pick something you're excited to track. Maybe it's your daily wins. Maybe it's family adventures. Maybe it's funny quotes people have said. Maybe it's fun projects. Bonus, making it fun for you, reward yourself with something small. Maybe like a coffee or a fun iced tea. So when you're sitting down, maybe it's ice cream or something like that. Reward yourself with something fun so that when you're sitting down to track your memories, you're enjoying it. Make the atmosphere, the ambiance, the experience of it something you want to come back to, because then you'll repeat it. And that's what we're after. So first, fun first. Second, lay it out. Decide how and when you'll organize your memories. Will you journal every Friday? Maybe tag photos on Sundays? Schedule a time here and there? Maybe it's a weekend every quarter. You can track memories however you want. When it comes to productivity, it's about what works for you. Here's some suggestions I've had work for clients. Lay it out for you. How do you want to track and lay out your memories? Because again, we know it's going to be powerful for the future. So that's the second step. The third step, organize your stuff. Get what you need, whether it's, again, a notebook or journaling or an app, whether it's pens or, I'm always going to say stickers and markers, whatever it is. But maybe it's downloading an app. Maybe it's upgrading an app. Maybe it is investing in something new. Maybe it's researching, figuring out what it is that you want. I know I used to have people use Cozy Family. There are different tools out there. Find what works for you. Organize your stuff, and so that you're able to do it. And then the fourth step, whatever makes it work. Do it in a way that fits your life. Do it in a way that makes you happy. Do it in a way that's repeatable and that you'll join and you'll say, you know what? I enjoy organizing my memories because this process works for me. One of the things, I'll be honest, that I have found when working with clients, the reason they are not as, I would say, quote unquote, interested sometimes in organizing their memories or their experiences or their skills or remembering any of that is because, again, it just feels big and don't know where to start. So we want to give you steps so you're in the flow, because we know when we're working in our flow, we're able to enjoy, to be present, and just to live and to actually enjoy the experience. So our 4 steps that we are encouraging today: fun first, lay it out, organize your stuff, and then whatever makes it work. Do whatever you need to make it work. Key point for all this: you're not just recording memories. You're creating a way to see your own growth story unfold. And that, to me, is what's most powerful for this. We're able to see our growth story because we all have them. We've all grown and done so much. But do we remember the story? Because the story is powerful to remind us where we have been, and it will show us and prepare us for where we're going. So that's why I am spending so much time and harping on organizing your memories, your skills, your experiences, and your life. Capture, reflect, create, right? What's next? So organizing your memories and journaling your life is so powerful, especially when you have an intentional plan, and make it a positive, repetitive process. The story of your life is being written every day. Give yourself the gift of being able to look back and learn from it and shape the future of what you want to create. I cannot encourage you enough. Take some time and think about, have you organized the memories you want? Good. Are there other memories you want to organize? Or are there new tools you want to introduce? Are there new times? Are there new memories? Are there new things you want to organize? Because I encourage you to take 4 steps and get into the flow of doing that. As every week, I encourage you to at least take one takeaway, right? I encourage and hope you have at least one takeaway from our time together talking about intentional productivity. I hope this week we've talked about 4 things. So remember, we started with a skills review and taking time to list all of the technical resources, apps, and programs that you have learned. Take time and do that because it's going to blow your mind and it will be pretty powerful. We also talked about why intentional memory organization matters. It's not just about our past, it's about our future. And because we've all done so much that we actually have forgotten about. And so we want to find a way to remember those nuggets because it will be important in the future. The most important thing, as with everything, is that it is important to make organization your way. It's important to not do what works for me, but to find what works for you. That's highly what I recommend. And then when we think about it, it's important to go with the flow. It's important to take those final 4 action steps that we talked about so that you're planning intentional with your productivity and with your organization, organizing your memories. So my question to you is what's one simple step you'll take this week to begin organizing your memories and experiences? What's one step you'll take for organizing your memories and experiences? Please come back next week because we are going to talk about your you report when it comes to productivity in you. Maybe you'll notice there's a little bit of theme. You're learning your way, organizing your messages, your you report. So we are looking at productivity and you this series, but it's important to be intentional about it. I want to thank you for being here. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner. If you have any questions, please know you can always email me at megan@indelible.global. You can check out our website at indelible.global. And I am here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific. Well, not yesterday because Wi-Fi was out, but we'll talk about that. It's another story. But I will be back next Thursday where we're talking about productivity in you. Again, I encourage you to be intentional with your productivity this week, to take some time and ask, how can you organize the experiences, skills, and memories that you've got? Because there's power in learning from them. I will see you next week, again, on USA Global TV's radio. Easy for me to say. I will see you next week on USA Global TV's TV and Radio's YouTube channel at 2 p.m. Pacific. Please join and like the show. Between now and then, take some time to organize your memories. I'm excited to see what happens and how that goes for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being intentional with your productivity. I will see you next week. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.